My last van was the standard length Econoline. My new van is the extended model, and when I started driving this, I was like, man, this thing's big. I need a backup camera. Then I got used to it. Then I added 3 feet of length to it with my storage box, so now I need a backup camera. So here we go. Installing a backup camera today. Polaroid. It was on clearance for $25. So installing it now. Let's see if it's any good. Here's how I mounted the camera. I just used L brackets. I like L brackets. I use them a lot, and it's under the bumper. And if I ever don't want to use this, if this ends up being junk, it's easily removed, and all I did was drill 2 holes right here. That's it. And then the wire, I just routed it under the bumper just like this. Right there. Now, in terms of install, I could take the light off and then splice the red into the backup lights, and then when I back up the video, the backup camera will turn on. But I'm going to do a easy install right now since I have solar. I'll show you guys right now what I mean by that. This is out of my old van. It still works, but I had to cut the fan controls at one point, and then I just crimped it together with the 12-volt port so I could get another 12-volt port later. I don't want to throw this away since this has lasted 12 years, but what I did was I cut it so I could use this. I'm just going to use this right here. I'm just going to use a 12-volt plug. Since I have solar, I'm just going to plug this into the 12-volt socket, and my backup camera will always be on. I used the supplied Scotch lock this came with. So white and black wire is the positive, so positive to positive, and the black wire is negative, so negative to negative on this 12-volt port. So this should be ready. Easy install edition. That's what I'll title this video. Backup camera, easy install edition. Less than 30 minutes. Since I have this plugged into my 12-volt port, the camera's on all the time. If I have the little monitor plugged in, it doesn't have to be in reverse since I didn't splice it in with the reverse light. If you splice it in with the reverse light, then it'll only come on when your vehicle's in reverse. But I plug this into my 12-volt port. Let's see the orientation. See that red line? I stopped right at the curb at the red line, so we'll take a look at the back right now, see how it looks. I have a tow hitch extender, and that's pretty much perfect. I have the red line right at the curb, and the tow hitch extender is just slightly ahead of it, so I have the camera in the perfect spot. You could tell the camera's on right now. Watch this. Here's where I plugged it in. This is my solar system right here. So I have a little button for the 12-volt port right here. This activates it. Watch when I turn it off. See, there you go. Turned off. I'll turn it on again. And backup camera, turn back on. One more time. Off. On. There you go. So I have it plugged in right there to my solar. And this barely draws power, so I could just leave it on all the time and it's not going to draw any power. Or I could just turn it off with this. Simple. Here's the main reason why I finally got a backup camera. I put a storage box on the back of my van for road trips, and it added 3 feet of length to my van. So we're going to use that yellow line as a reference point now. That yellow line is showing the curb, so let's see how close that storage box is to the curb. Storage box is above the curb, so I have to keep that in mind whenever I have this attached. See, that added a lot of length to my van, but at least I have some sort of a reference point now. And the yellow line is right above the curb, so that's my reference point. So that yellow line is where that storage box is.